Hello again, I'm back with another unlicensed video. Got another Swiss Army knife. This is one of the 111mm Swiss Army knives, so it does have the lock. Now, I usually don't like buying the locking models of the Swiss Army knives because of the fact that they lock and the blade is over 3 inches, therefore I cannot carry it. But some of them I feel like I have to have just for my collection. So let's have a look at this absolutely terrifying maniac of a knife. Here we are. The Victorinox Skipper. Actually, no, that's not the Skipper. I thought so too when I bought it. This is the Helsman. Now, I did think at the time of purchase, which I picked this up at a flea market in Edinburgh recently, I did think that this was the Skipper until I got home and I realised it is missing the pliers and the inline Phillips screwdriver. So because of that lack of tools, this is actually the Helsman, not the Skipper. Now, I think now there's 3 versions of the Skipper. This one, which it basically is the Skipper just downgraded. So the Helsman, the standard Skipper, and then the newly released Skipper Pro, which only came out a year or so ago, a couple of years ago, which has a full-sized standard marlin spike with a one-handed opening blade. The price I paid for this thing was 20 quid, second hand. That's not too bad. I'm sure you could probably find it cheaper. I'm sure there's some people that's wanting a lot more for it. 20 quid I'm happy with. Now, there's a few things that I really like about this, and the reason why I wanted the Skipper in the first place. I really like the colour of the handle scales. It's really nice, what would you call that, royal blue or something? It's pretty attractive and you don't really see it in that many other Swiss Army knives, other than the 2 Skipper models, and I think there's possibly an SD Classic that also has it, but that's in the sort of acrylic colour, where this is the matte finish. Now, I also think that Victorinox Shield, the red and the white, looks very attractive against this blue colour. You can see that it's fairly worn. Like I said, it is second hand. And I also like this little feature here, this little painted on compass. Obviously completely non-functional, but it's a nice little detail. Like I said, it is a 111mm locking Swiss Army knife. So this grey piece here is the side lock. Just adjusted the settings there. I don't really know what else to call it other than a side button lock or something like that. How that works, we'll open up the blade, which you can see here is fully serrated. Now, the Skipper is only partially serrated. So on the Skipper, it's serrated from the tang to where my thumb is, that would be straight, and the rest of the Skipper would be serrated as this one is. But because this is the Helsman, it's fully serrated. So this blade is about 3.4 inches, I'm just going to take a guess. And how this lock works, you just pull it back to close the knife. Now, I would like to note that these are actually still just a slip joint like the standard Swiss Army knives, just it has that additional lock. Now, you can actually remove these locks if you're in an area where you're allowed up to 4 inches in cutting edge, but you're not allowed a lock. I think New York City in America, you're allowed to carry a 4-inch slip joint. Then this may apply to you. You could actually remove the handle scales, take that lock out, and then replace the handle scales, and then it'll be a slip joint. Now, this is something I've thought about doing myself. I'm considering grinding down that blade to just under 3 inches and removing that lock and replacing it with a piece of wood, because I do like the handle shape and I do like some of the tools on some of these 111mm Swiss Army knives. Moving on, we'll leave the main tool of this knife till afterwards. We'll go to the opening layer. We've got the standard opening tools, a Victorinox can opener with the screwdriver. Other side, we've got the bottle opener, flathead screwdriver with the wire bender. Scale tools, we've got tweezers, and the toothpick is missing. Couldn't really care, to be honest, because that's pretty disgusting, a second-hand toothpick, so not too fussed about that. On the back layer, we've got a Phillips head screwdriver, and second last tool that we have is the awl with the sewing eye. Now, I'm glad this one has a sewing eye, because a lot of the 111mm Swiss Army knives with the awl do not have a sewing eye. Not sure why, but a lot of them don't. I know that my 2008 Soldier does not, so I'm glad that this one does. Not that I really get any use out of it, but there's space for it, so why not have it? And it is actually a reasonably functional tool. Now, the one thing that I really do like about this is this. This is the Merlin spike with the shackle tool, shackle key I think it's called. Now, I think this wide portion here is the shackle key. I haven't got a clue how to use one of them or what it's for. This is obviously a boating knife of some description, but I don't really sail boats at all ever, so I don't know what that's for or how to use it. But it's also a Merlin spike, which I do know how to use. This is for doing rope work. Now, I think the actual purpose is to help tie certain knots. I find them to be really useful to untie knots. So if ever you've got a knot that's really difficult to untie, so long as you can get this in the knot, you know, you just force it into the knot, wiggle it around a little bit, it makes it 100 times easier to undo that knot. I mean, I've even used a spike like this to untie my shoes a few times when I've put extra knots in it. So this is a fantastic little addition to a Swiss Army knife. I wish more Swiss Army knives offered this. I'm pretty sure there's only about 4 or 5 models that actually do offer this. This model, the Helsman, being one of them, the standard Skipper. The Skipper Pro also has a Merlin spike, but it has a much more of a traditional style of spike. And I think 1 or 2 other models, I think it's the Workchamp XL, might be mistaken, but I think it's that model. But a Workchamp XL brand new will cost you about £200. That's a lot of money for a Swiss Army knife. And my god, is that a thick one. I mean, that's thicker than the Swiss Champ. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this lovely little Swiss Army knife. The colour is fantastic. Nice tool set on it. I might still need to pick up a Skipper. Have to wait and see. 20 quid, great price. I don't think I would pay any more than 20 quid for this thing second hand. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Do let me know what your thoughts are on this fantastic little Swiss Army knife. Okay, I'll see you later. Goodbye.